Right, karibu sana. It's Thursday, #relationship Thursday, that one day of the week, the weekly dose giving you tips on matters relationships. In case you're in a relationship, giving you tips on how to better it. In case you're not in a relationship, like the better part of us. Usijali, just giving you tips on how to always look for mpoa. And interestingly, today, we get to know how you can look for mpoa in case you're holding your phone right now. And ukupale Facebook, Twitter, IG, you name it, whichever kind of social media platform you are in, how can you find mpoa? Actually, do you believe you can find mpoa on social media? That's our question of the day today. You can always interact with us. Tafuta credit utupigie simu 0795 045 864. Call in live. Our numbers are open. You can always call in live utupigie simu. Ask all those questions. We have a whole panel here, matters experts, to give you all those details. In case you have any feedback on the same, pia unaweza tupatia. But kuko na bundles pia usijali, unaweza tu text on WhatsApp 0793 267 279. That is on WhatsApp. 22047 is our text. TV47KE on Facebook, as well as TV47 News on X, asking you, do you believe you can find your mpoa on Pale social media? And for this conversation, having, well, relatively young people, per se, tuanze na ladies ama tuanze na gent? Sawa, yeye amesema tuanze na ladies, sawa. I'll start with the ladies. Sophie Onyuke, an actress.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
So, how long have you been an actress?
4 years. Hii ndo mwaka wa 4.
Mwaka wa 4?
Naam.
Which role do you normally play? The antagonist ama ule?
Napenda yule mbaya. Yeah, hiyo ndo role napenda sana.
All right. Utakuwa unatuambia pia kama ushaipata mpoa social media, or if you actually have found mpoa on social media, how that worked for you as well. All right. And Kenya Gitonga, a counselor at the University of Nairobi, as well as a psychologist, as well as an author, and founder of Sound Mental Health. Quite a lot of hands on your plate. First, I'm curious, ku cancel to your end, you see stress? For real? Wow, okay. You'll also be telling us the kind of books you've authored as well. Napasi in the house, a Fantas Njogu.
Yes, sir.
A relationship coach.
Yeah.
For how long?
I think I've done this for about 5 years now.
5 years. You're also married?
Yes, I'm married for 7 years.
7 years?
Yeah.
7 years ago, social media ilikuwa. Do you nakumbuka WhatsApp ilingia tu 9 hapo,
Yes.
Facebook just before that.
Yes.
Ulimpata social media ama yenu ilikuwa ile kwa traditional, kwa ground?
Hapana, face to face.
Oh, face to face. Ile ulikuwa unaambiwa na wazae, enda church.
Yeah.
Unaona church? Hapo ndio unapata mpoa.
Yeah, that one. That one.
All right.
Yeah.
Obviously, Gashambi Nderitu will be joining us a little bit later on to help me have this conversation. But wacha nianze na an African quote all the way from Congo. Inasema, to love someone who doesn't love you is like shooting a tree and to make dewdrops fall. Curious from Sophie. What do you make of that African proverb from Congo? Let me repeat it. To love someone who doesn't love you is like shooting a tree, or rather shaking, is like shaking a tree and to make dewdrops fall. What do you make of that?
Naona kwamba yule ambaye alitunga msemo huo ni kama alikuwa amepitia hali hiyo. Ndio maana akaona hakuna haja ya kulazimisha kitu. Heri tu kuachana nacho kwa sababu hakuna vile unaweza shake hizo dewdrops zifall. Naam.
Right. Percy?
I think it's the reality. You know, those proverbs most of the times are very well thought. They come from people that have gone through some experiences, and you really cannot chase that which is not interested in you. You must always give attention to that which has attention on you. Yeah, so I think he was right.
How about you, Kitonga? That proverb.
The one who created it was quite right, because naturally humans are reciprocal. So if someone does not reciprocate your feelings when it comes to a relationship, it's going to be tough.
All right. And to also have a foundation of this conversation, let's also take a look at data. In the digital age, how many people use social media and how long are we on social media? So according to Data Reportal, typical internet users they spend 2.5 hours a day on social media. It's according to Data Reportal. And so last year, according to Statista, 10.55 million people were social media users right here in Kenya by last year, January 2023. So obviously, sahi numbers may change, but that obviously speaks volumes on there's so many people on social media right now. So that means the probability of wewe, in those 2.5 hours, kupata mtu, ukiscroll tu pale IG, scroll umon, by the way, huyu, akai mbaya. Sophie, I'm curious, where do you start?
Kusema ukweli, mimi si shabiki wa kutafuta mchumba mtandaoni. Kwa hivyo siwezi kuwa ati nimevutiwa sana na mtu napomwona, kwa sababu kitu moja najua, looks are deceiving. Kwa hivyo siwezi ona mtu no matter vile anakaa au nini, haizi akanivutia mimi.
But si profile, umeangalia profile, umeona ile ya kwanza, ukaingia sasa kwa akaunti yake. Alafu mtu kama Gashambi Nderito ndio tujoin hapa sasa. Ukaingia kwa account, ni gentleman ameingia, akaona sura kama hii ya Gashambi. Hi Gashambi.
How are you? Let me say hi to everyone. Hi Pasi.
Hiyo imepita hewani hiyo basi.
It's because it's acha nimsalimie.
It's okay.
So ukaona sura mzuri, ukaamua ati uingie kwa account yake vizuri. Ukaona by the way, bio pia nayo. Hata ameandika Bible verse by the way. Ni Bible verse gani Pasi unaweza vutiwa na?
Proverbs 31.
Bas. He who makes a wife, he who finds,
a wife finds a good thing.
Yeah, hiyo. Mbona ameweka hiyo yote? Wacha nijaribu niende DM.
Watu ni tofauti. Na ninaamini kwamba mimi ni mmoja wale ambao ni tofauti, kwa sababu huyo mtu anaweza kuwa amenunua account ama pia anaweza kuwa ametumia account ya mtu mwingine. Kwa hivyo si ati ninapomwona pale, mi kwanza hata siwezi ku-DM. Hiyo ni moja, siwezi. Ego yangu iko pale juu, siwezi. Kwa hivyo sidhani kwamba siwezi nikajipata mimi ati navutiwa na mtu pale mtandaoni. Mimi siwezi.
Pasi?
I think the question should be, how many people are real on social media? And the probability is a lot of things are hidden by the social media platforms. So you either choose your best photos, you sometimes post things that you did 5-10 years ago. So I think most people are not very real. That is why it would be a challenge to find somebody on social media, but that does not mean that you really cannot find.
But how do you know someone is real though? Because that is a big question.
Now that is the question now. Because now after you find somebody, then it means that you must go a step further to discover whether that person is real by their response, by finding them. So it becomes a very murky place to get somebody from. But it does not mean it is not possible. But I wouldn't encourage anybody. It's not the best platform for you to get the person that you want to live, because generally marriage and dating are very complicated, because now you're getting to know an adult that has known a certain way of life for a long period of time. And so it's important for you to just be as real as possible. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Gashambi, ni kama hii maneno.
But on dating, we've had a lot of testimonies of, online dating that turned to marriage and forever after. So, I don't know. Given how busy we are nowadays, maybe maybe it's an option now.
I think the question is, because the success of any dating process is ending up to marriage. So the question should be, how many of those dating have ended up to marriage? and how successful are those marriages? That should be the question.
Okay.
I don't have the numbers, but I bet there are very few, because I talk to a lot of young people a lot of times. Okay. There are not so many. It's possible for you to be attracted to somebody from their appearance on social media, but it is very hard for you to walk with that person and be real to each other to the place where you guys have a long-lasting relationship. It's not the easiest thing.
Pastor Njogu, it's very interesting how you're saying that the success of a relationship is in whether it ends up in marriage.
Yes, yes.
Which is very funny, because nowadays in, you know, this modern dating era, people all the time, people say we are dating, let's see how it goes, you know, let's see where it goes. I don't think marriage is really the goal nowadays. And I'm trying to think, there are people who've been together in like forever. There are people who've been together in like forever, you know, 45 years, speaking of Oprah and the partner, and they're not married, and they seem to have a very successful relationship. So what will you say about
I bet that is a very insignificant number. To most of us, the reason why you want to date, you want to fall in love, is so that you can have a partner that you're going to live with, maybe get children, grow up. That is why I would say that the success of any dating is marriage, because it's never dating for fun. And the people that date for fun, that is why we have all these heartbreaks, until some people, their hearts are shattered. Now they actually don't matter, they don't mind anything. They are into, actually there's a moral breakdown because of the shattering of the hearts. So you get to a place and think, okay, why am I even holding my body for anybody? If I can give myself and attention to this person and they're not able to take care of me the way I thought. And so the success of any dating should be marriage. That should be the end goal. The people that date, so you don't want to date somebody for 5 years, 10 years, and then you guys never get married. What is it for? You either want to get married, have a child with them, and if you have a child with them, you want the father to be present in your life as much as possible. So I think I would still stand with the thing that the success of any dating is a successful and a stable marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stanley doesn't want to get married. I'm not sure he agrees.
I'm actually taking a look at a couple of comments which will actually really form what you talk about here. Evans B says, yes, depending on the target, if all information are matching to ground pictures. Brown Shalwa, even if the answer is yes, it won't last. Na hapo ndio niko sasa. Gitonga, why wouldn't it last?
I'll first say that it's diverse, because the question is, why should they quote online? Maybe this person has social anxiety, they're not comfortable with approaching a person one-on-one. Maybe that's just how they are. And then looking at an African context, that's where you hear Pasi saying that it should end to marriage. But then I feel like as a country, we are now getting we are evolving in aspect of relationships, as she is saying. Because right now, there are some individuals who are like, no, just want to date for quite some time. We don't want kids, we just want to date. So I feel like how people view relationships nowadays, it's quite diverse. And why should they last? It depends with the individuals. Because remember, a relationship is two-way. I believe if they want it to work, it will work. Because there are a couple of components that are very key whenever we're looking at relationships. For instance, communication. It's very important. So it depends with the individuals who are involved, and also bearing in mind what's your goal in this relationship. Are we just assuming that we're just dating, or am I dating him and he's not dating me? It can happen.
But then now, before mfike hapo kwa actually having some of those questions, is he dating me? Is he nini? Hata before mfike kwa relationship, the same venye, yeah, I mean, Sophie says, maybe hapana by the way. Me as much as we make at a Bible verse, as much as you're good looking and everything, me I won't hit your DM.
Yeah.
But then, how do you filter? You know, because as much as he says, again, they're very unreal people and ungenuine people. But then how do you filter? Ukiangalia mwingie kwa profile ya mtu.
Okay.
But then how do you filter that? But then mse I can tunaweza. As much as you haven't even met them, but partly to social media.
I would say that relationships are risky. Everything has a risk. Because in as much as we're looking at online dating it can't really work, also relationships where people meet one-on-one, at times they just don't work. So I feel like you can never know how real or unreal an individual is until you've interacted with them for quite some time. And also with the interactions, it's just a gut feeling where you feel like maybe I can trust them, maybe their values, maybe how they do things align with what you want. So there's not much of a mark sheet where you can mark, oh, this can work, this can't work. Even relationships where you meet one-on-one at times, they just collapse.
A gut feeling. In ile think watu huko where you come from wanasema nasikia kitu ndani.
Ka something.
Nasikia ka something niambia msako fit.
But it's funny, you date everyone thinking they're your husband or they're your soulmates, and then 6 months later, mambo inachemka very fast.
Yeah, it happens.
All right, so now we've met, wherever we've met on social media or wherever. We've gone out on a date. It's very funny how the roles, the traditional roles of a man, you know, providence. I, as a lady, most probably, as a modern lady, I still expect the guy to pay for the dates, right? To, you know, pick me up or figure out how I'm gonna get there, kutuma fare, right? To even maybe pay my rent if we proceed further. But myself on the other side, when our moms used to go visit our dads, I don't know, I guess, they used to do their laundry, you know, over the weekend. I wouldn't do that. They used to do dishes, they used to cook, we order in. So I don't know, this reversal of, or rather this evolution of women's roles and still expecting a modern man to be traditional, is it working? Sophie, maybe we can start with you.
Kulingana na maoni yangu, mimi naona kwamba in as much as mambo yanaenda yakibadilika, kuna vitu ambavyo tunapaswa kuvifuata ambavyo vilikuwa vinafanyika zamani. Kwa sababu hatuwezi sema kwa sababu maisha ya usasa tunafaa tuembrace usasa wote, hapana. Hayo mambo ambayo umesema, mwanaume kuwa ambaye ni chombo ambacho kinapatiana kila kitu, kwa sababu hivyo ndivyo jamii imewaeka. Kwa hivyo mimi siwezi egemea upande wa mwanaume ati ndo ambaye anapaswa kuprovide kila wakati. Hapana, acha nikupatie mfano. Tuseme, wajua mapenzi ni kitu cha ajabu sana. Kwa sababu unaweza ukampenda mtu yeyote ambaye anacho, ambaye hana anything. Sasa tuseme wewe ni mwanamke kama wewe, unajiweza. Utoke pale nje upatane na mwanaume ambaye ni mtanashati ila hana uwezo kama wewe. Unataka kuniambia utamwachia majukumu yote kwa sababu atieni mwanaume anafaa kuprovide? Hapana. Wakati mwingine unapompenda mtu inafaa mkuje mezani mkazungumza, mkaelewana. Wewe unaweza ukatoa hiki, mimi naweza nikatoa kile. Na utapata kuna baadhi ya mahusiano ambayo msichana aliweza kumsaidia yule mwanaume. Umeona katika social media mambo mengi ambayo yanafanyika. Alafu yule mwanaume anapopanda pale juu anajiona bingwa, anaanza kumdhulumu mwanamke, anasahau kule ambako ametoana. Ni vizuri kama wachumba, mnapoanza uchumba wenu, jueni mali mmeanzia. Na mambo ya kujiona ni kama umefika, hapana. Hii ni uhusiano ambao mnajenga. Na mkitaka uhusiano wenyu uwe wa kudumu ni maelewano. Kwa hivyo si ati unalimbikizia mwanaume majukumu yote, mimi sitakubaliana naye.
Alright. Katika hayo mahusiano, and even in the whole digital age right now, fine, I mean you've met and all that, but then now communication katika hayo mahusiano, right now utapata maybe the way I text, the way I communicate on social media might be different from mtu nimemjua, let's say tulipatana Valentine's tu last week. Lakini anaona mtu anatumianga tu emojis ama mtu atatumiangi emojis. Let's say when you meet guys past 30 years nakaa nikiwa unaongea na anko yako, they don't use emojis kabisa, you know, you're texting them,
they laugh ha ha ha,
yes.
And it's not even a joke.
You know, I mean, so how can that, izo dynamics are something as minute as just texting, you know, because sometimes pia unaweza tumia some phrases that umezoea, you know, on social media, lakini mtu ana feel simuelewi. Talk to us na hizo dynamics za misunderstandings on this digital age dating.
All right. When you look at relationships, it's very important to elewa kwamba these are two different people. They've grew up with different environments, and their values and what they really value is also very diverse. So whenever we are talking about relationships, it's merging two individuals so that we can make this relationship work. So it's very important for us to learn communication, assertive communication, and bearing in mind you cannot change the other person. Maybe you don't like the way they text, maybe you're not okay with how they talk to you, but you cannot change them. What you can do is communicate. Let them know that you're not okay with it, you're not comfortable with it. But if this person has the best interest at times you can see them trying to adjust. But also, there are things which we can compromise. Bearing in mind, you cannot get a perfect being. But the very best thing is communicate. Just let them know. If they have the best interest at heart, they will change. They'll try to adjust and learn. Because everything is a behavior, and as psychologists, as counselors, we believe that you can learn, you can unlearn. So once you highlight it, and it's okay for them, they can learn how you like it done. And also if they do not learn, that's quite fine. But on your end, you've communicated.
But my issue is, right now, tukiangalia time yenye pase aliyaipata jiko, as Waswahili say, that's 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Labda hiyo time social media iko imechacha sana. Sa hii, hiyo kitu ya learning ni tricks for Gen Z right now. Ambia, umeni blue tick, chonjo. You go back to any dating site and you look for someone else. Hakuna ile patience pasi, si ndio?
Yeah.
Hakuna ile patience. I think generations zime change over time. But understand what matters sana, and that is why where you meet somebody is very interesting and very important. Because uko na expectations depending with where you've met somebody. Because the moment you stumble on somebody on social media, you actually don't know how they have been cultured over time. You don't know where they are coming from. You don't know who their father was, who their mother was. There are so many things you don't know about them. But you see, when you meet some people, like if you meet somebody in a learning institution, an institution of higher learning, like a university or something, there are things you expect they should learn. And they are basics like communication. Yeah. And if you find somebody, then they are there.
Actually, hiyo ndio unit ya kwanza ukiingia in most courses. Communication 101.
Communication skills.
Yes, communication skills.
Yes. So where you meet somebody is very important because they have been cultured a certain way. So if you meet somebody on social media, you don't know them. You have to begin learning them from scratch. And that means that you guys have to meet. You have to have your expectations. You cannot ride on the excitement. And you see a lot of people are messing out on relationships because they are riding on the excitement, the feelings. They feel like, I'm so excited about this. So they actually ignore so many red flags, they have so many blind spots, and then they keep on getting messed up. So I think when you meet somebody is very important so that you can have a very strong foundation.
All right. Remember, you can call us live via 0790458664. 0790458664. Oh, sorry. 0795045864.
Naona rating yangu inakuchanganyisha kidogo.
Imekata.
But then now, as much as fine, tumepata your patience. Because kuna kugana one word on the street that people say, unaoga, narudi soko.
Very fast.
Oh, yes. It happens quite a lot because, I mean, and also take a look at what one of them was saying. It doesn't last long. So umejuana na mtu wiki moja tu, umeanza kuongea, msharudi soko.
And maybe let me contribute and say why sometimes this happens. And I don't know if you ladies have experienced this. Sijui kama mko soko kama mimi. But I've also come to realize, okay, I'll give a brief story. There's someone I was talking to, and we'd gone out on one date. He's based in the States. So our communication was mostly on phone, right? And so one day he says something that's out of pocket. I keep quiet, and then 2 weeks later he hollers. He's like, listen, you're a beautiful lady and I'd love to see where this goes, but I also want to be pursued. And I said, excuse me, because last I checked, men are supposed to pursue us.
We are the prize, amani aje pasi. We are the prize. It should be 50, tupatane mahali pale katikati.
I think there should be some maturity, some reciprocity. It's never supposed to be one person chasing somebody without reciprocity from the other side. Anytime, especially when a man wants to marry, you know, when people are in their 20s, and thank God that you guys are referring to us as your uncles. But when people are in their early 20s, they have a lot of energy to chase for no reason. But when somebody begins to get to the age of marriage, they really want some reciprocity. So they don't want that they go quiet and then you don't talk. They're the only ones saying sorry every time. They will feel like this is not what I want, because they actually want and they're looking for a wife.
But Pasi, initially, before we get to the, to even agreeing that we're in a relationship, yes. I don't know if you guys used to call it courtship.
Yes, yes.
Before we agree that we're in a relationship, that period, isn't it the man that's supposed to be pursuing?
I think the man should pursue.
Okay, but yes. We are being told that Dennis from Eldoret is on the line. Let's hear what he has to say. Habari, Dennis. Dennis, good morning. Hello, Dennis.
Hello.
Dennis, tuongeleshe. Tunakusikia. We can hear you loud and clear. Punguza sauti ya TV. Punguza sauti ya TV. Dennis, tuambie maoni yako ni yapi? Oh.
Dennis.
We've lost him.
Yes, Dennis amehepa. But then even to pick up from what you're talking about.
Yes.
Gitonga, hii nini ya the whole patience. Because as much as mtaanza kuongea, meongea for a few, maybe mlipatana in any social media platform. Patience hakuna. Why, first of all, why do you think that is? Is it because that huyu akinibo ama akiweza ku act funny, I have many other options out there? Is it one of the reasons?
Yeah, it could be one of the reasons. But honestly, to me, I would be wondering if he approached me on social media, how many more has he approached that I'm not quite sure of? Because there's always now the question of how true is this? But also bearing in mind that we're in a generation which you're calling the microwave generation. We just want things done there and then. So if you feel like there's some delay, oops, anasonga. But also bearing in mind that a lot of us are feeling like we have options. If this doesn't work, I can always get some other option. But also age really counts, as he is saying, because in 20s, I feel like a lot of young people are just sampling, just to see, is this okay, is this not okay? So it's just sort of having fun. But at times the having fun also has consequences. So also patience is key.
All right, kutoka Eldoret twende Turkana. Alex, habari asubuhi, watu wa Turkana mkoje?
Kwa sana.
Yes, karibu sana right here and tuambie kuna maoni ama maswali?
Niko na maoni kuchangia.
Tuambie tafadhali.
And relationship. People who are in relationship should understand that a woman first, according to our society, they tend to perceive men to be the one who should do everything. But also in our side as men, we should consider a woman as a fragile object. And in this generation now, everyone, yani mtu yote akwe chali akwe boy, most ukiangalia relationship zao, there is no that respect. But according to me, just right from the beginning, a man was given dominion. And it's the first time you'll meet a woman who does not, cannot perceive things in a way that a man should be the one to say something. And also she wants to say, I have also a voice.
Okay.
Mwanaume, unafaa tu kumpea kwanza time.
Alex, kabla uende, labda nikuulize, unadhani unaweza pata mpoa ama your significant other pale social media?
Mpoa?
Venye watu wanawaita.
Naweza mpata mpoa kwa social media. But the first time.
The first?
Naweza mpata mpoa social media, and then we can just start that relationship. But now when we're coming to table things on the ground, you now introduce yourself as a man and you give the woman what your responsibilities as a man.
Okay.
And that's now, you should make your woman, don't make her feel inferior, but just try to let her know that you are the one to say something.
All right. Asante sana Alex. Asante. Salimia watu wa Turkana pale. Alex talk about as much as yes, utaenda pale social media umpate, but then sasa rudi kwa ground. Mpatani kwa ground. But Sophie, juu umesema wewe, you can't hit the DM, uwezi. But then now, for example, a gentleman aingie pale social media, aingie pale IG, angalie, let me DM.
Size yangu.
Yes.
That's what they say.
By the way, yes, I mean, we can probably hit it off. How should he start the conversation? Because conversation, real life, ni tofauti. Nimepatana na wewe, conversation kama tulipatana church is different when you start off. Hi, hello, nini. On social media, how should this person start a conversation?
Mimi naamini kwanza mtu ndio ameniona, si ndio? Kuna ile kulike post, ana comment pale. Wajua mtu anakufollow, ukiona mtu sasa ana comment picha zako nini utakuwa curious, utataka kujua huyu mtu. Sasa akija pale kwenye DM, tuseme okay, mimi huwa naandika short quotes. Tuseme aseme hii quote imenivutia au kitu chochote ambacho kinahusiana na kazi yangu. Atake sana kujua kuhusu kazi yangu. Mimi naamini hiyo ndio mkondo ambao anafaa kufuata kwanza. Asije kama amefika katika upeo wa juu ati nimeona picha zako nikapendezwa nazo Kwanza hizi quote zinavutia, wewe unaandika na yani mazungumzo yawe yanahusiana na kazi ambayo mimi nafanya kwa.
Kwa hivyo unataka kuwa complimented based on your personality first before your looks.
But
why isn't that being, I don't know, because you're a very beautiful woman. Na unajua wanasemanga men are visual creatures. They see you first, they see the physique first before the personality. But I understand what you're saying. I also feel really nice when you must be a words of affirmation person.
So mimi naamini kwamba okay, vile unasema wanaume huvutiwa na kitu anachoona, lakini mimi napenda yule mtu anaona beyond the physical appearance. Mtu mwenye anaweza karelate, huyu haya maandishi, unanielewa? Sasa nataka
unaweza compromise. If someone comes using that angle, unaweza compromise.
Tutajaribu tuone, lakini mimi sipendi mambo ya mtandaoni. Ikijani kwa mambo ya uchumba. Naam.
Miss Gitonga, have you ever pursued a man? Rather made the first move. Let's not call it pursuing.
No, I have never.
Would you encourage it? Would you see?
Personally, speaking from my own perspective, I would not really encourage, because I believe they should pursue a lady. But suppose my client feels that's the right thing to do, we do not advise.
Okay, let me interject you.
Hello.
Lucas from Kisumu is on the line. Habari Lucas, habari asubuhi?
Mzuri.
All right, tupe maoni yako.
Sasa mimi nasema hiyo dating on social media is a fair platform for everyone. Kwa sababu when you want to date somebody from social media,
Right.
Hello.
Tunakusikia. Endelea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nasema social media is a very fair platform.
Okay.
Because you don't have to look the background of that person. Yeah, so when you are dating on social media, you just tweet or text, then you start chatting. So it is a very easy. It is not necessary to know whether this person is rich or poor. So it is a fair platform. Everybody can date very easily.
Okay.
Do you think it can last long?
Yeah, it lasts long. It depends with how you will continue with the discussion and how you carry on yourself and that person you are engaging with.
Lucas, have you met someone from social media? Have you dated someone you met on social media?
So many.
So many.
And,
I love that you come from the lakeside. Never beating the allegations.
And they really respond positively.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And Lucas, because one of our guests, Sophie, says that ukimtext pale social media, usianze na kumcompliment na venye anakaa, kumcompliment na kitu ameandika labda kama ni quotes. Kama mwanaume, unadhani ukianza conversation social media, unafaa uanze aje?
Yeah, it is true that you have to follow that person first. You know, somebody, when you want to date somebody, you have to check the profile, you want to follow her or like that, so that inafuatia. Yeah, sasa hata yeye atakuwa amejua kweli huyu jamaa, kwa sababu mtakuwa mna text each other. Sasa atakuwa anajibu reply, wewe una text and reply, then it reads something. Sometimes you tell her, you look very beautiful and amazing, my friend. So you continue, then mtakuwa mmepatana tu.
Ya mwisho, before I let you go, how do you know, una filtered that you know this person, but we are kofiti? Because I mean, ni wengi, utapata ni wengi social media, but how do you filter so that you know this one can be, tunaweza pelekana?
Okay, you know, it is not only texting, and you will exchange even the numbers and WhatsApp numbers. So you will go back to the drawing board behind the curtain now. You will continue talking in WhatsApp or exchanging of numbers. So you will just get to know from her very well. Yeah.
Aya, asante sana Lucas. Salimia watu wa Kisumu.
Niko Kisumu, sir. Thanks.
Aya, asante sana.
Aya.
Hey, Yomera. Lucas amesema wengi sana. Love it. Love how
right. Ms. Gitongo, we had interjected here.
Yeah. So saying, suppose a client feels that's the right approach for them, for us, we never advise. We just educate. And then it's them to make the decision. But on my perspective, no, I won't chase a man. Not now, not
What is
ever.
the downside of, or rather, what's the disadvantage of maybe setting that pace that, you know, I've approached you fast. Now, if I see a fine man there, nikae tu ningoja nipasu.
Not really. Maybe we can give them green lights and then maybe what we call the green flags, and they can respond if they're interested.
Hiyo inakuwaga kitu moja pasi mimi sijaelewa. Na pasi labda utatusaidia hapa. But I'd want to start with the ladies.
Yeah.
Hizi green flags mnasemanga mmerusha ziko wapi? Because we never see them. Nasema, oh, 1 year later, by the way, they come to say, but me, I used to like you. I used to have a crush on you. When you didn't notice, I used to even like your post, nini. And I'm like, you never told me.
Hey, that sounds personal.
We shall never know. Sophie, the mood nianze na wewe. Hizi green flags mnarushanga zinakuwaga wapi?
Wajua, mimi sielewi mbona wanaume huwa hamuoni hizo, kwa sababu naweza kuja nitake labda kukaa karibu na wewe. Pengine umesimama pale nipite, na ndio kuna nafasi nipite mali umesimama na nikugonge alafu nikwambie sorry, na si ati hakuna njia. Surely unataka kuniambia uwezi ona? Yaani njia ipo, mimi nimekuja mali huko na nimekugonga. Alafu nikwambie sorry. Ukiwa umevalia vizuri na kuambia leo wewe ni mtanashati, na kuambia hata hapa kuna nzili kwa karibu ikuume masikio, acha niitoe. Yaani huwa hamuoni vitu kama hivyo. Compliments ndogo ndogo. Yaani sasa nimekumbuka kuna hiki kipindi ambacho walikuwa wanaingiliwa vijana wa kiume ambao hawana ndevu. Alafu kulikuwa na wale ambao wana ndevu. Unapata wale wana ndevu ndio wasichana wengi walikuwa wanawaendea. So unapata mtu, ndevu zako zinakaa vizuri kama za Abrahamu. So unaona hizi compliments ndogo ndogo, ya Rabi, mimi sielewi mbona huamuoni vitu kama hivyo.
Which green flags mnaongelea?
Maybe at times there is how ladies respond. If they're interested, you can tell. I don't know why you don't tell, but you can tell because they're always there. Maybe you ask them out, they're okay. Maybe you compliment them, they're very excited. Tiny things. Because it's very disappointing when she's not interested and you can tell, but when she's interested, you cannot tell. But there are tiny things kama vile anasema, complimenting the person, being available for them. At times if we act that way utasikia tuna simp, you know. So most of us tunaona other now being available acha tu like as if siko interested, which also is not right, because if you're interested and the other party is interested, well, just go for it.
So why not just make the first move? Because whose loss is it really? If I'm crashing on, you know, someone,
Yeah.
I wanted to give him an example, but I'll get into trouble. If I'm crashing, and then a year later, 2 years later, is when I'm mastering the courage to tell him that, you know, I used to like you a while back, then whose loss is it? Sayo, nimekuja kwa harusi yake kuchota, unasema utachota maji kwa. Whose loss is it really? Why not make the first move, Percy?
First, I would want to say the reason men don't see the green flags is because they are not interested. When a man is interested, they will see. Yeah. And when a man is not in love, they will not see, no matter how hard you try to hit on him or even show those green flags. But the other thing that is very key to your question, anytime a lady approaches a man, you enter that relationship at a place of disadvantage, because men are generally pursuers. They actually want some adrenaline. They want someone that is causing their blood to run a bit. Yeah. So the moment you're the one even bringing yourself, that man will keep feeling like he needs to chase somebody else. And then he can only get into that relationship because of circumstances. But when he's himself, he will have to go and run the person that he feels, I have to work hard to get this kind of a person. So you can, but I think the best thing for a lady, just be yourself, be real, be good. Somebody will see you. Your person will see you.
But then as a gentleman, because I agree with you, we're generally, hunters.
Yes.
But then how can the huntee, for this matter, arushe, to science mahali ndio pia nijue, let me, landing, nini ikue soft.
Yeah, they can do that. But the moment they do that and then there is no response, you don't kill yourself as a lady to prove a point. Just move on. You will find a person that is interested in you, and there will be that chemistry. I think we are beings that have chemical components, and that chemistry really works. There's somebody that you will see, you will fall in love with them, they will fall in love with you, and then you guys will hit it running. That is better than a lady just being there and a guy has decided they will not see. Actually, a guy will even notice that the way you are doing these things, you want to catch my attention. And then they will intentionally, again, not allow themselves to be caught by those. And so you will hurt yourself for no good reason as a lady. Yeah.
The caller from Kisumu said, matters, it brings a fair playground pale social media. Either niko na kakitu, ama sina kakiru, sisi wote tuko equal pale. Sophie, do you think it may reduce matter ya competition? Because tungekuwa tumeenda social function, na kasi na kakiru, utaona tu as a lady. Maybe, I don't know, maybe utaona ule ametoka kama akaufungua ama amekashikilia mahali, or some, even the looks and everything. Do you think social media will you agree with him, in a level playing field?
Mimi sidhani. Kwa sababu mimi naamini kwamba maisha ya social media si maisha ya uhalisia. Watu wamefake kila kitu. Hata hayo magari ambayo unaona watu wameweka pale kwa social media, labda tu ni picha wameedit, labda ni gari ya mtu ya boss wake. Kwa hivyo mimi sioni kama social media imelevel mambo. In fact hata imefanya mambo yawe worse kabisa.
Gitonga?
Social media, especially Instagram, it's more of a show ground. So I feel like badilisha chochote, mambo ni yale yale. And also the question that I can ask is, are you planning to maintain it social media, or will you never meet? Because of course you meet and you get to know. So I feel like communication, just being true, just being honest, that counts. Because also tukianza kudanganyana hapa social media and we meet kwa ground, vitu ni different. How will the other partner feel?
How long should you take before you meet this person?
It varies with the interested parties. It could be a day, it could be a week, it could be a month. Depends.
I endorse a day.
A day is too soon?
In fact, if I started talking to you yesterday, today morning, give me a date for today evening.
I think what is important is the environment in which you meet, because at some point you will have to meet if you're interested and both of you are interested. I think it's the environment in which you meet that is what matters, not the length of time of talking on social media. At some point you have to hit the ground and you'll have to see the person for who they are. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Back in Nairobi, Simon, habari asubuhi. Simon kutoka Nairobi, habari asubuhi.
Mzuri sana. Nafurahia kwa mada.
Uko na maoni au maswali?
Maoni tu.
Tuambie.
Kwanza nimefurahishwa sana na urembo kwa kasi ya LCT. Ningependa kujua
tafadhali rudia.
Nasema nimefurahishwa pia valia nguo ya rangi ya kijani kibichi. Green.
Okay, Simon, unadhani unaweza pata mpoa social media?
Ndio nilikuwa nataka nianze kijani. Ndio nilikuwa nauzia social media yake.
Right. Yeah, asante Simon. So back to you, Pasi, you saying?
I was saying at some point you guys will have to hit the ground running. And so the question that you had asked, whether social media gives people a level playing ground, the truth is it's not. It's actually, because number one leading cause of divorce and heartbreaks is miscommunicated expectation. And so most of the times you come with expectation because of the photos you've seen on social media. And sometimes you have a picture of this person, and then sometimes you see them before you actually meet them, and you feel like you want to run away. Or the places they are taking you for tea or for dinner, it's not what you consider their class or your class. And so sometimes it's actually causes people to work hard for no good reason. Because now you have to always go back to the drawing board. So I think the real you become, the better. And not so many people are so real on social media. Yeah. So it doesn't give people a level playing field. At some point, if it's her, I will have to ask her out. And where I take her, she will know my level, my thinking, my preference, all those things. Yeah.
And Sophie, do you know, if someone meets me on social media and that is the precedent we've set, I will want to post where I've been taken out on a date, you know. I'll want to post the gifts he sent me on Valentine's. So how do you find the balance between, you know, real life and social media?
Mimi naamini kwamba katika mahusiano si kitu ambacho unakiona wakati mwingi. Ni kitu ambacho unakihisi. Kwa sababu sasa ndio kunao mabinti unataka kupost. Mimi hujiambia hivi, unataka kwanza mwanaume akununulie maua, akununulie vitu vyote ambavyo utaweza kuviona. Wewe mwenyewe unaweza kujinunulia hivyo vitu. Kwanza mimi huwa nimejiweka katika ile hali ambapo naweza nikajifanyia, ili huyu mtu kama anaweza kunifanyia ni sawa, na kama hataweza sitahisi vibaya kwa sababu mimi mwenyewe naweza nikajifanyia. Lakini hii mentality ya kwamba nataka sijui ni post nimenunuliwa hivi na hivi inafanywa wanawake wengi wanajiumiza bure. Unafikiri mbona kuna kesi nyingi za depression? Mbona watu wanajiua? Kujiua si kuwana, kujiua kwa sababu unataka kuishi maisha ambayo ni ya kifantasia. Hutaki kuingia katika uhalisia wa maisha. Unataka tu vitu ambavyo ni vya kuona ambavyo vitakavyoisha. Kwa hivyo mimi naweza nikamshauri mtu, kama unataka hiyo ndio kupost nini hivyo vitu vyote, kuwa na uwezo wa kujinunulia. Ndio hata kama yule mtu ama mpo ambaye anakununulia hata kuwepo, maisha yako itakuwa inaenda sawa, utakuwa na vipost bado. Hakuna kitu kitakuwa kimebadilika.
Gitonga, it's very interesting how she's mentioning for materialistic things. If you cannot afford, wacha. Very interestingly, I was having a conversation with my mom the other day. Okay, let's hear from Dennis from Nairobi. Dennis, habari yako?
Salama sana. Nimerudi tena, msuri nilikuwa na hitilafu kidogo.
Okay.
Ningependa kuchangia mada zaidi.
Tunakusikia sawa vizuri, tuambie.
Kwanza kabisa, we are on a digital age and kila kitu imeenda digital. So right now, talking about dating in the digital era, you know, compared to siku za kina babu zetu huko nyuma, mambo imebadilika zaidi. ukiangalia kwa kina zaidi, ukiangalia dating styles imechange due to the effect of the social media. Unapata ya kwamba hii social media imekuja imeaffect mambo na dating. So unapata kwamba siku hizi like in Africa tuna date siku chache tumewachana, kwa sababu unaweza pata kwamba kuna wale ambao wamekutana hapo social media, walipatana social media but hawakuendana, so ikakuwa hivyo, hawakuelewana. So unapata kwamba imekuwa mtindo wa siku hizi, hadi familia zetu siku hizi hadisimame, kwa sababu social media pia inachangia zaidi. Manake unapata kwamba sisi wanaume sometimes huwa turidhiki, na si ati haturidhiki, inatokana na aina ya mwanamke ambaye umepatana naye. Utapata kwamba huyu mwanamke naye ambaye mmepatana naye maybe hamjaendana naye, unapata yeye anaangalia nje ule mtandaoni, huku hivi mimi inafanya kwamba familia yetu haisimami zaidi. Nikiongezea zaidi, mimi ni a good example of someone whom I got a lady in social media.
Oh, wow.
You know,
your wife?
Yeah, the current lady that I'm dating, nilimpata social media. Na ilianza tu kimchezo, nilipost pale Facebook, nani ataninulia chai leo? Nani ataninulia, kuna baridi sana, nani ataninulia chai leo?
How many years ago?
Like a year ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, it's a year ago. So wakati nilipost nani atanibuia chai, this lady ali reply mimi niko hapa, and then nikaingia kwa inbox yake. Tukaanza kuongea na yeye hapo hivi na nikakuja nikapata ya kwamba she's such a nice lady. Yeah? She's such a nice lady, such a good lady. Na siwezi nikacriticize sana mambo na dating in digital. Unaona kuna pale kuna upungufu kidogo na kuna mahali kuna strength pia kidogo. So tukisonga zaidi about dating in this digital era, you know, we find that even most ladies nowadays, like for example, there is one friend of mine who told me, a lady, that I cannot date a man who cannot provide for me like 5,000 a day. Uwezi ukakuwa unanipea shilingi 100 kila siku. So unapata ya kwamba pia in this digital age, ladies ama people wameweka pesa mbele zaidi. Unapata ya kwamba tukikuja kwa ndoa sasa, tunapata kwamba tutakuwa affected. Nikikosa pesa kidogo leo inaleta makasiriko, inaleta ya kwamba sisi hatuelewani. So mambo imebadilika, and dating in digital era is 50-50 according to me, but it depends with how wewe mwenyewe utahandle as a man your issues. We need to be men, and when you handle it as a man the way it's supposed to be done, ukielewana mambo itakuwa sawa zaidi. Ni hayo tu ambayo nimekuwa nayo kusikia leo.
Asante sana Dennis. Salimia watu wa Nairobi pale huko.
Na usalimie mama.
Niko Eldoret.
Oh, okay. Right.
Eldoret. Oh, sawa. Salimia watu wa Eldoret pale.
Eldoret.
Oh, yes. So he says it's a 50-50 thingy. I'm curious though from the viewers. Do you believe that you can get your mpo on social media? Do you believe you can get your mpo on social media? We'll take a short break, but in case you wanted to call in live, hold up hivyo kidogo tu, tukichukua short break in a few moments. Unaweza tupigia simu 079 5045864, tupigie simu utuambie what do you think. Pia WhatsApp unaweza tu text 0793 267 279. 2047 is our SMS number. Kishambi, si tukunyuka maji kidogo.
Hata tukunywa maji. We'll be right back. Don't touch that dial.
for staying with us. In case you're just joining us right now, we're discussing matters dating in the digital age. The hashtag is Relationship Thursday. Tuko hapa na Ephantus Njogu, relationship coach, Kenya Gitonga, counselor to UN, as well as a psychologist and author, as well as Sophie Wanyoke, an actress. You can always be part of this conversation. Utuambie, do you believe that you can find your mpoa, the word on the street, or your significant other on social media? Do you believe you can find your mpoa on social media? Shambi.
Yeah. Stanley, let's hear from Chichi Josephine. I hear she's in Nakuru, Nax Vegas. Chatusikia wanasemaje. Chichi. Chichi Josephine.
Well, Gashambi, yeah, true. I'm coming live to you from Nax of Vegas, and today we talk matters relationship. But remember, dating is a culture that has been there since time immemorial. But the current dating has mostly been affected by social media, or rather social media exposure. And also a higher percentage of people have been influenced by the Western culture. But I think people mostly and especially the Gen Zs are dating because of different reasons. Some date because of love, others date because they are very lonely maybe, and that is why they want to just have some company. Others date because of peer pressure. I am here, a group of Gen Zs are just behind me. I will be talking to them just to hear what they think about dating, and more especially now that you can even find your love through social media. Who do I begin with? Let me begin with you. Yeah, come here, come closer. I want you closer. So tell me what you think about dating. Kwanza, swali la kwanza, una date?
Technically, I date. Yeah, because me, I date. When I speak about dating, I don't really do dating for fun. Yeah, so nikisema kudate, I want to do something that may lead to the future, you know, like lead to marriage ama kitu kama hiyo. So when I date right now, it will not lead to something in the future. It might not lead to something in the future. Yeah.
And tell me, now we have platforms, apps that muna date through online. Sindo, labda, do you believe you can get your mpoa through online dating?
Yeah, you can actually. You can, because yeah, you can. Unaweza pata mpoa online. Kwanza mtu mzuri sana. Yeah, because you know mostly umekaa na watu around hapa campus. So you know technically ni kama umewazoea. So ukipata new ground ama new environment, you know, unachange ile monopoly ya kushinda watu wenye unakutana nao ndo mtu mwenye una date, but akiwa mbali at least mnaweza misiana kitu kama hiyo. At least haitakuwa hamtazoeana sana. Yeah, kila siku mnaonana, inakaa ni kama mko marriage na mna date.
Hebu niambie, what do you look for in a mpoa?
Okay, what do I look for in a mpoa? So unajua sasa hizi date, but nikianza ku date, nilisema my dating will lead to marriage, si ndio? So yeah, that's my end goal. So kitu nitakuwa natafuta kwa mpoa ni mtu mwenye atakuwa mtu mwenye ni caring first of all. Mtu mwenye ako na wife attributes ya kitu kama hiyo, na pia beautiful. Yeah, that counts. Lazima akuwe mrembo.
Sawa. Acha tusikie mpoa hapa, mdema hapa. Labda wewe uniambie, ukiangalia ukitaka mchali labda, what do you look for especially?
Chali awe cute tu. Alafu awe understanding. Awe loving too.
Do you believe in online dating?
Online, no.
What do you look for?
Online dating, I don't prefer that.
And
maybe mtu anaweza kudanganya, maybe muenda kumit, so ina lead to akupeleke Airbnb, akukate, maybe akona target.
Kwa hivyo wewe believe in online?
Don't believe. Kukutana na mtu live umjue venye yako.
Your end-term goal ya relationship labda? Unataka ukidate mtu ni nini hasa unatafuta?
Mtu.
Is it marriage that you want, ama unataka company?
Marriage, si company.
So saizi una date juu ya marriage ama company?
Marriage.
Sawa, acha tusikie mwingine. Wewe unasema vipi kuhusiana na kudate?
By the way, let me tell you, there's something also need also to people to understand. There's a difference between dating and courtship. You see? Now dating is data collecting. You see? So dating also you can break up at that point because you una collect data ya mtu. Umeelewa? But now when you enter into courtship, is now courtship leads to marriage.
Sasa uko wapi hasa wewe?
So for me now, currently I'm dating a person.
So uko sure?
I'm sure because of what we are preparing, because one thing about dating is about setting the plans of each other for you together, because the moment two of you have the same intentions, that's something wonderful that you can succeed. And the moment nyinyi wawili mmeketi na plans, at least mko na future, mnajua at least by the end of this day.
Mpoa wako ulimpata through online ama mlipatana?
Kwanza mpoa wangu tukupatana online. physically, yes. We met physically, and that was through, I know, we are people who do work at different stations, so we met physically, and I got attracted to her.
But do you think you can get your mpoa online?
Currently, it's tricky. Yes, because it's hard to find the expression. Because let me tell you, online, it does not give the physical expression of somebody. You see, it's just the mental ability. You can think of this person is like this, and labda unaweza ona DP yake inakanga hivi, you take maybe akona muscles. But in the real sense, that person is not the right person, you see.
Hey, wewe uko na dreams. So wacha nisikie wengine. Wewe una believe in online dating kwanza, and are you dating? You can say no or yes, but it's purely on you.
No, I'm not dating, and I don't believe in online dating. Why? Because online dating, what you see is not what you get. Someone anaweza kupostia hapo pictures, something you're attracted to, and then you talk. Then the day you decide to meet, unaenda unapatana na maajabu. What you had seen is not what you're getting right now.
Filters.
Yeah, so I don't believe in online dating. I have to meet the person who I'm going to be with. Just naturally tukutane, and then
hebu niambie wewe ukitafuta chali unatafuta chali ama ni looks kwanza alafu hizo zingine zinafuata?
No, I don't consider looks very much, but that person has to be caring, God-fearing, someone who is understanding, someone you can talk to and relate. Yeah,
so tofauti kidogo, si vile watu wanasema kwanza akuwe mcute.
Cute, if I'm cute, yes, but these other things also are the first things that I consider. Yeah.
Mtamgole yako kwa relationship ama kwa dating ni nini?
You know, I don't think people date for relationship. Dating is what just prepares you so that you go to courtship, which leads to marriage. So
una date sasa si lazima ukwe happy.
Si lazima ukwe happy.
Sawa, nisikie mwingine. Karibia hapa madam, wewe unahisi vipi kuhusiana na dating? Do you believe you can find your mpoa online?
I don't believe so, because first ukiangalia the lately cases venye watu wamekuwa wakiuawa, I don't believe so. Yeah.
And ukitafuta mpoa labda mkipatana, what is your first thing ninasemanga wow, I'm attracted to that person?
First thing, ako smart. Just look smart.
Napenda watu wakiwa. Mcute unasema nini akae aje?
Consider about money terms. Yeah. Yeah, you can't advise poverty. Yeah, upendi poverty. Yeah.
So you first look for what he has in his pocket, then his looks, and probably what else?
I said ako smart, meaning mentally anaweza kuwa na kusikiza, to understanding. Yeah.
Na goal yako ni nini? Unataka lead in marriage ama una have it for fun?
Maybe as for now, I say I'm young. Say I need company. Yeah. I'm just collecting data. Nitaangalia zingine baadaye.
What do you think?
About what?
About online dating
online dating kwanza. Unajua hii ni Gen Z. Gen Z inafanya vitu faster sana. Kwanza mimi online nafanya na inakuanga romantic sana hata kuliko face to face.
Kwa nini ni romantic?
Unajua mnaongea kwanza ile online na mtaipatana. So uko na hiyo interest. So unapata communication ina flow. Yeah.
Na wengine wanasema ati unaweza tumia picha lakini filters.
Hapana. Acha nikwambie, for example, mtu anaweza kuconnect best yako mwenye ako mahali fulani. Akikuconnect anajua huyu mtu. Of course anajua mtu quality zake anakuconnect. So unakuwa na hiyo expectation yako huyo mtu ni mzuri.
Yeah. So pia una believe in hookups. Best yako kuhook up.
Kabisa, na I believe in that. Because best yako anakutakia mazuri, unaona? Juu mmekaa kwa hiyo mbogi yako itakusaidia.
Niambie pia hata kama mbogi yako itakutakia mazuri. Unapopeleka huyo mpoa labda ameletwa, unataka nini hasa? Is it that you unataka have fun ama unataka marriage?
Mostly sisi Gen Z tunataka mtu friendly. Mnaweza play pale, mnaweza cheza, mnaweza enda dating, yani vitu mzuri. So unataka kwanza mtu mwenye ako friendly na wewe. Mnaweza ishi poa sana. Yeah.
Kwa hivyo wewe ni kwanza, na pia kabisa umesema ukiwa up pia unaangalia physical appearance.
Yeah, lazima uone physical appearance. Lazima mtu yani mtu tu ame composed person. Ameweza, ako na mali zake, amezipepa hapo, ako na kila kitu yani yenye unataka yeye.
Yeah. Wengine yenye mko funny. Nieleze wewe, what do you think about online dating kwanza, especially kwa sababu wewe ni Gen Z?
Kulingana na mimi kwanza online dating hiyo ni scam. kwangu ni kama ni scam. You, for example, unaweza pata demo ameweka picha ya msichana yenyewe, ukiona unaona yenyewe nimepata mali safi. Lakini mkienda mpatane, si kitu yenye ulikuwa unatarajia. So online dating ni scam. Kwangu ni.
Aya, niambie, wakati ambapo unatafuta mpoa anakaa vipi?
Mpoa inafaa kuwa amebeba.
Kubeba unamaanisha nini?
Yani ako sawa, nyuma pia ako sawa. Ako well presented. Pia akili ako sawa akili. Pia ni mtu anaweza jitafutia kiasi. Yeah.
Pia hautaki mtu ana rely on you sana.
Hiyo naye itakuwa ngumu kidogo.
Aya, na pia uniambie huyo mpoa wako ambaye utatafuta na pia amebeba hivyo venye unataka end term goal yako ni gani? Would you want to marry that mpoa ama unataka to have fun just currently?
For now inafaa kwanza tukikutana tunakaa na msoma, tunaangalia characters zake, then characters ikiendana long run.
Do you believe in marriage kwanza?
Yes, I believe in marriage. Yes.
Sawa, acha nisikie mwingine. Karibia hapa uniambie wewe unatafuta mpoa anakaa vipi?
Nitafuta mpoa mwenye anakaa presentable, mwenye akona smart kwa IQ. Na yes, atembea na yeye, uwezi ogopa kutembea na yeye.
Unamaanisha nini?
As in, kutembea na yeye ndani ya watu. Ukiwa na yeye, unaweza tembea na yeye ndani ya watu na akuwe mzuri hivyo.
Aya, na unaamini unaweza pata mpoa through online?
Siamini hivyo.
Unaamini mpatane physically?
Nataka tupatane naye physically, at least nimuone. Unajua ukipatana naye online, huwezi amini hiyo juu ataweza kutumia picha yenye iko na filters that, yani huwezi taka hivyo.
Aya, na pia ukipata huyo mpoa unataka ku have fun ama unataka to end in marriage?
No, it is not exactly ending in marriage, but for company first.
Sawa. Kuna mtu amenibamba hapa. Amesema yeye anataka mtu mwenye sijui anakaaje. Hebu tueleze wewe yo demo anakaaje?
Demo anakaaje? Unajua mtu composed person, nilisema composed, ina essentials zote za mwili, including even the mind, including the physical appearance. Iko tu sawa, because that's what generation C wana look. Looks ina matter sana siku hizi. Unaona mtu looks ina matter sana.
Unajua haina haja ni kuja kutesa watoto wangu wasichana. Hawakatiwi juu bibi yangu hakuwa msupu, unaona? So lazima pia bibi yangu akuwe msupu, ndio at least wakiwa wasichana wanakatiwa, unaona?
Na muone hata mtoto rumo si mrefu.
Yeah, handsome person for your kids. Yeah.
my at least they have okay vipi, yani okay at least wapake rangi
Mali safi. Sawa. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. For Stan and Gashambi, those are Gen Zs, and especially from Mount Kenya University here in Nakuru campus, of course, explaining what their expectation, especially when they're getting into dating. And some of them really want some cute women, and some of them really don't want to get into marriage so fast. So all they want is maybe have fun. Some of them saying that end goal is to just get married. That is all from Nakuru County. Allow me hand over to you. My name is Chichi Josephine.
Thank you so much, Chichi Josephine. Asante sana. Nyaringito umesikia wamesema wanataka watu wanaweza tembea nao mbele ya watu.
Yes, naijua yote so that they can actually be able to work with them. But then what I've really gathered from what the Gen Zs they're saying is virtual versus reality. Word on the street, what people say, what you order versus what you get, kind of thing. And before the break, Gitongo, we were having this with you on matters of the virtual, kitu iko pale social media versus what, on reality. And even as you also, chime on that, texting might seem easier. Maybe it's the first week umepatana, whatever social media platform. Meanza kutext, text, for a while, but then now kupatana, it might be different. How does that play along?
All right. It depends with an individual, again, I would say, because there's someone who's just comfortable behind the screens, texting, some can use voice notes, and there's one who's just, okay, mi nataka hiyo kumuona live, I want a physical conversation. But all the same, the question would be, are we having this relationship virtual forever? Or at some point we will meet? Yeah, because also meeting on social media is something, but kuileta kwa ground pia is something. Because also if it's company, we'll just get virtual company all through. So it depends. And also, kuna yule mwenye tu hataki kuchat, they want to call. So it calls for both parties to now meet and decide. Do we communicate via text? Do we communicate via calls? And also, do we blend in meeting kwa ground? Yeah.
So which builds more connection? So virtual ama ingine? Ile traditional ile?
All right. I would say that meeting a person one-on-one is very important, because also I can say I'm okay, but then the non-verbal cues, you can tell huyu hayuko sawa. So now when you're having a one-on-one conversation, it's way much better, because also in a relationship, we're looking for connection. We are looking for maybe emotional support. So we need to bond. Will you just bond online all through? No, we can't. So I would say a blend between both. Because also if we meet, that's it. Maybe it's a long distance. Does that mean we won't communicate again until we meet? So it's a blend of both. Yes.
Beautiful. Percy, I say this a lot, that I really love my job. I really do. But one thing the only thing I don't like about it is that it has robbed me of, the opportunity to be on dating apps. Because they're there and they're wonderful. But ukionekana, and Nyaringisha will agree with me, they will screenshot and put it on Twitter. So I find dating apps easier because, in the bio you're told, write what you're looking for, exactly what you're looking for. I'm looking for a serious relationship, friendship, a friend with benefit. Isn't it time saving? Haven't these apps come to, make dating
things easier? Yes.
I wouldn't say they're making things easier. I actually would say they're making things more complicated, because there are things that should never change the way they were meant to be. Because like we've said again and again, the purpose of dating should always be to end to a stable relationship, probably marriage, and a stable family thereafter. So God meant us to be a people that you meet with somebody, you connect, and then you know this person. But now, even when it comes to the descriptions we put on those dating sites, your definition of a God-fearing man and my definition of a God-fearing man, we all know it is totally very different. It's possible you're saying a God-fearing man, one that has morals, another one that probably doesn't drink, another one means something else.
So speak in tongues, yeah.
Yes, speak in tongues, they love the Bible, and then again, maybe you don't want one that loves church too much or something like that.
That's a thing, we'll talk about that some other time.
Or something like that. So I think it makes things complicated. And I think for me, I would, when I talk to young people, simplify your life. Meet and interact with the people that you meet every day. Whether it is in the office, whether it is in restaurants, in hotels, in social places, let those be the people that are attracted to you and you connect with, and begin from a place of friendship, and then build it up so that you know what I'm getting myself into.
But Percy, there are so many limitations nowadays. Like for instance, you've mentioned meeting people at work. A lot of companies, not here though, have no dating policies. So that means one of you has to pen a resignation letter if things get serious. No one wants to lose their job. Or number two, maybe you're always at work. Ukitoka kazi jioni, you're tired, you're in bed. We are hustling too much. First.
Number one, when you meet your significant other, there is nothing that stops you. Your job becomes very insignificant compared to getting the real person. So
even for her, I mean, she's asking, no, even before you actually meet the significant other.
Yes.
You're busy, you're doing, let's say, 5 a.m. all the way to 10 p.m. Umetoka, umeenda to job, umerudi to home. So the only time maybe that you have ya kutafuta huyo significant other unaongelea ni social media. Or as she
actually
puts
it is easier.
Kwa dating app, ile haraka tu before lale wana useme wacha niingie hapa.
You see, now you're saying
left, right.
You're saying niingie online. But the people that you're meeting physically, you don't even have to put your mind in, I'm looking for anybody. It's somebody you met over lunch, you connected. It's somebody that you met kwa gate, akitoka, akipita, you connect. It's easier that way than saying now I'm intentionally going to to look for somebody online. That is more work rather than just being open to the people that you interact every day. It's easier. So I think the digital space complicated and complicates dating every day, in every way, by the way.
And because, Sophie, your counselor, there are people who would say, who would argue this person, say, fine, I mean, I'd want to do that, but my personality does not allow me to do that. Mimi ni wale watu shy. Mimi ni wale nikipitana na mtu akinisalimia, ni either yeye anisalimie, mimi sitaongea na mtu. You know, there are people who are wired that way. They'd really want to talk to, but then they're wondering, how do we even talk to people face to face? For them, it's so easy to be keyboard warriors. Watakuwa na mistari zingine very deadly pale, you know, behind your keyboard, but then face to face they'd actually feel intimidated, you know, kuongea na mtu. As a counselor, how will you help them?
All right, for such we can say maybe it's anxiety, but then anxiety varies from maybe social anxiety. Is it a specific phobia that they have? So when it comes to counseling, we are able to actually assist such individuals. That is, and then counseling tuelewe si eti umechizi ama kuna shida kubwa sana. It's just personal development. So we are able to work with them through the journey to actually assist them learn how to cope and also learn how to move past the anxiety. But that is if the individual is willing. Because also if they don't feel I need to work on that, we cannot force them. But it's very important that we be self-aware so that we can get to know, is this an issue that is affecting me, how I relate and connect with people? Because also with creating a relationship is one thing and maintaining it is another thing. And that calls for self-awareness. Yeah.
All right. Gashami, I don't know if you've ever seen zile memes, killer talking stage, someone tells you, so who are you? Tell me something about you.
Tell me something about yourself. My God, we are tired.
Ni PDF tutafaa tutengeneze. A PDF that has everything about you. Unatuma tu hapo.
When they ask, unawambia find attached.
But I think it's so easy for you to know people without asking them who they are when you're interacting with them every day. I can actually tell your personality, Stanley, without just the minutes I've been with you, I can actually tell your personality. And there's somebody that loves your personality the way you are. You that keeps quiet and you don't say hi to people and looks like you're a snob. There's somebody that likes somebody like that. And they don't have to be pushed to talk so that they fall in love with you. There is somebody that wants a cool woman like that.
So nadhani tunafaa kuwa tunatuma unaandika PDF mahali mtu akikishinda amekuuliza niambie Sophie ni nani?
Mimi naamini kwamba si lazima nitume anything. Kwa sababu mimi hata ndio mtu atake kunijua, mimi sihitaji ukuje uanze kuniuliza what are your likes, what are your dislikes. Kana mimi utanijua. Vile vile watu tunasema birds of the same feathers flock together. Ukisoma mtu kwa umbali ni rahisi kujua huyo mtu kuliko vile ambavyo nitakuja nikuulize Stanley, niambie kukuhusu. Utanidanganya mambo mengi ambayo tuseme sasa nimejiingiza katika hayo mahusiano nianze kulana ako hivi na hivi, akikasirika ako hivi, nitakuchukia bure. Kuliko ningekaa kwa umbali nikusome, nijue Stanley ako hivi, anapenda mambo kama haya, hapendi mambo kama haya, kuliko ati unaniuliza who are you? Okay, alafu nimekuambia alafu what's next? So ni vizuri learn huyo mtu. Kuna huyu counselor anaitwa Madam Priscilla, nampenda sana kwa sababu ananishauri. Aliniambia Sophie, ukitaka kujua mtu anakupenda au kama kuna mtu akona hisia towards you, fanya hima hata uende huko kwao. Enda huko kwa uchunguze maisha yake. Enda huko mahali anafanya kazi muulizie. Enda mahali anaishi, uliza majirani, mtu huyu anakaa vipi? Mtu huyu anareletaje na watu wengine? Vivyo utaweza kujua huyo mtu vizuri kuliko uko aje? Uko hivi, salama. Unaona? Ni tofauti sana.
So that definitely speaks on matters due diligence. Lakini sasa hiyo ni kwa ground umejuana. But then now, how do you do due diligence kwa pale social media? Umeanza kuongea na mtu kitonga, then umeanza kujuana nini, whichever kind of platform, ama maybe WhatsApp, you've never met yet. But then how do you do the due diligence to make sure huyu si fraudster, huyu by the way huyu ako sawa? Do you go to stalk them in other, let's say ulipatiwa namba na, a friend, you go to now the social media platforms, by the way, this is the kind of things Umse will post. You know, these are the kind of people this person follows.
Social media can be tricky. That is according to me, because also there's a lot of fake lifestyles out there. But at the same time, naweza sema pia inalingana na mtu. Manake if this is maybe a professional in a certain way, they'll always be very strict on what they are posting, the content that they are letting out there. So it also depends with the individual and what they are doing with their social media pages. And you really can't tell, because also if you ask their friend, so and so akwaje, of course kama ni beshte yake, especially for men, haezi. He cannot say anything.
Sito kudanganya.
Yeah.
In fact, huyu ajaipata
Jimona akiwa very happy.
Yeah. Mimi naweza sema kwamba pia inakula kuwili. Unapozungumza na mtu katika social media, one thing watu huwa hawajui ni kwamba the truth will always remain the truth. Sasa tuseme huyu mtu vile umesema maybe yako huko ugaibuni, unazungumza naye, amekuambia mimi niko hivi, niko hivi, niko hivi. Rudi after mmeongea sana kwa labda miezi miwili, muulize swali ambalo ulimuuliza kitambo. Kama ni ukweli atakwambia, na kama ni uongo utaona maongezi yamebadilika pale katika social media. Na vile dadangu amesema ndio, pia unaweza labda tuseme kama ni mtu professional, utaangalia professional life yake ikoaje. Hiyo itaweza kwa upande mwingine itaweza kukuonyesha ni mtu aina gani, lakini naamini kwamba usikuwa unafuta message, rudi pale kwa yale maongezi. Hata kama si kuna wale ambao waandika diary, rudi kwa ile diary, angalia mlizungumza nini. Kitu ambacho umezungumza leo ndicho hicho kitu ndo alisema wakati ule, utajua, kwa sababu kweli huwezi ukabadilika.
That's very true. Actually, I encourage my girlfriends to Google the person. Because hata unaweza pata huyu mtu ako na an ongoing criminal case on maybe sexual assault. It's very, very true. Before, especially going out on a date with them. So yeah.
But I feel like ladies do most of the due diligence kuliko sisi. Sisi as long as vibe imeanza, utaenda to the flow.
I actually think otherwise.
Nasikia hadi kuna diary.
I actually think otherwise, Stanley. The people that are victim most of the times in relationships are women because they don't do the due diligence. And most of the times it's because they feel like time is passing, I need somebody, this guy looks cool, I cannot afford to lose them. Whereas as a man, even if you really dying for a woman, you keep on feeling like even if she left or I don't get her, I still have an opportunity to get another one. You feel like there are so many choices for you to make. Yes. Yeah. And so ladies don't do due diligence. And then I think the social media is a trap for most of them. I talk with women and you look at things that they fall for are very interesting. Sometimes you can actually laugh because I talk to a lot of young women. Things that make them fall for love are really things that don't really exist, because I think basically we need to go back to what do you really want. Do you want a stable man? Do you want a good character? And those are things that you cannot pick from social media. Those are people around you. And if you forgo maybe the looks or the status just a bit, you are going to get a real person that is hardworking, that will grow into resources. And when a man gets money, they become handsome. So automatically.
Handsome.
So you really cannot, because when a man is, and you see men, sometimes men, we are wired in a way we want some kind of attention. You want to have many women to your name. And so putting a look out there is so easy, and that is an enough trap for most women. And I think that is what causes most women to fall in traps with many people. And I think even if you meet with somebody on social media, and it's true, you can do your due diligence by looking at who are our mutual friends, who do they follow, and something like that. But I think you must always push it to the next level. Are you a real person? And then can we meet? And then if you meet a man for a period and they're not showing you their friends or their family members, that is the first red flag that any woman should run away. But most of the times you still stick around. You have stayed with a man for 6 months, 7 months, 1 year. You don't know a single friend. You don't know a colleague. You don't know a brother. You don't know a sister. You don't know the parents. You don't know where they're coming from. There is nothing that should hold you there, even if they're giving you millions, because that is a red flag. That's danger happening. And at one point you will walk away. or it will mess you up.
Okay, so maybe as we wind up, as you're giving us your closing remarks, you can tell us as well if it's okay to break up with someone via social media, even if it's WhatsApp.
Ni sawa.
Sophie.
Kwa wale ambao hawana confidence. Mimi naamini kuona mtu ana kwa ana. Nikuja nikwambie mimi sioni kama hayo mahusiano kuna mali anaenda, ni vizuri kila mtu akienda njia zake. Mungu atakupatia mchumba wako.
Si ndio?
Naam.
I agree with that. Umenikumbusha back then.
Okay, tunakutrigger.
Niliingia mahali napata this is not working. Nani social media. But anyway, Gitonga, even as you also give us your final thoughts. As a counselor, are there any negative impacts when it comes to ukizoea social media, hunting, even for man, hunting pale social media peke yake, rather than actually meeting people face to face? Kuna negative impacts that come with that?
Yes, there is. Because also maybe huyu mtu alikuwa prefer physical, maybe conversations before, and it ended. They have not maybe moved on. So there could be trauma in such relationships, and some now can push them to preferring virtual dating or relationships. At the same time, there can be issues with esteem, especially pale umezoea sana social media. You feel like you're not in a position to actually hold a physical conversation. But let us not forget that mental health issues are real and we need assistance, suppose you're not okay. But also, as I wind up, I am a person who prefers physical conversation. So breaking up, I prefer that we talk. I let you know it's because of this and that. But at the same time, it doesn't mean you can change my mind, especially with apologies, because I know 100 apologies can follow. But also, as I wind up with me, I'm holding 2 materials. These are books that I write.
Oh, wow, they have beautiful covers.
Thank you. So these are books that can assist us, especially when it comes to mental health issues, maintaining and creating healthy relationships. On March 9th, we'll be having a conversation around women. We're calling it African Daughters at Alliance Francais, which is in town, Lower State House Road. And I welcome everyone so that we can get to talk more about African daughters and also thriving.
On March 9th. What time?
Yes, 2 to 5 p.m.
Okay.
All right. Pasi, I think I'd also ask you the same. Because let's say for a gentleman, you're used to social media. Where if it's whatever a dating site, you just be swiping left or right, swiping left or right. And also even chatting, as we were saying, it might be easier. You inaweza lose confidence yako if now you actually kwa ground unapatana na mtu ama hata kwa mat lose confidence yako. What kind of negative impacts come with kuzoea sana social media dating?
I think addiction, it's possible for you to get addicted. And mostly because men are very visual. So most of the times, the pictures that people put there, they have exposed certain parts of their bodies, and maybe that is your weakness. So it's possible for you to just be there, and the moment you get addicted to some things, you will lose, like she's saying, your self-esteem, your confidence, and you lose your manhood. Because mwanaume ni sauti, mwanaume ni confidence, mwanaume ni boldness. And so you should not lose that as a man. And I think that is the downside of the social media dating and apps. Yeah. So I think we let's come back to the ground. And even if you're getting somebody there, let it not be it's your concentration to look for somebody there. Just learn how to interact easily and freely with real people, and you're going to get a real person. But if you chase that which is fake, fake you will find, and then at some point you will keep saying, oh, all men are dogs, all women are like this. And it's not all. It's the people it's where you went to fish for them. But if you come to the ground, you will find there are real people out here that are doing real things and that are going to be real with you. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sophie, your last words?
Mimi naweza encourage watu. Kama kuna mtu huwa anapenda kumsikiliza sana ni Johnson Mwakazi. Na Johnson Mwakazi kuna poem ambayo ameandika, wanaweza iangalia YouTube, inaitwa Love Poem. Ukisikiliza ile poem ya Johnson Mwakazi, hautakimbilia sana vitu vya dunia. Hayo tu ndo maneno ya mwisho naweza waambia.
Naangalia comment ya Timo Comedian hapa anasema on Facebook, that question that we are posing to you. And he says, yes, kwanza niko single, mtu wako ready, I'm here. Sijui kama atankia kama ule mwingine wa Eldoret. Brian Shallow says, even if the answer is yes, it won't last. Bernard kipkebut, not in this earth unless in mass. Na zingine Daktari Anthony Kimei, never. You don't know each other. Imani Faith says no. Those the comments there. This conversation continues online. We're asking you, do you think you can find your mpwa or your significant other on social media? Do you think you can find your mpwa on social media? Asanteni sana for having this conversation with us. Fantas Njogu, relationship coach, pastor. Which church were there?
I pastor a church called Love Arena Ministries. We are in Ruiru, Kimbo. Yeah, I've done that we are celebrating 5 years in March.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kwa nini, I'm curious, kwa church mnakuga na conversations kama hizi kuambia congregants, by the way, ingia pale social media, tafuta mpwa, ama now you encourage them, tafuteni wapwa just around you?
We have conversations and they are diverse. So you cannot limit people from interacting with people from social media, but you want to grow people so that they can make the right decisions. So at the end of the day, wherever they meet, you tell them practically on how to do due diligence for them to make sure that they don't get into some traps. And so we keep on having these conversations a lot of times with the young people. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As well as Kenya Gitonga, counselor at University of Nairobi, psychologist, author, and also founder of Sound Mental Health.
Yes.
For how long? The Sound?
Sound Mental Health, we're gearing towards 3 years now. It's just a team of young people who are passionate about mental health. And our major goal is normalizing conversations around mental health issues and also minimizing stigma around that. So suppose you need counseling, suppose you need your teenage girls talked to, suppose you want, maybe it's a school that needs training, you can follow us at Sound Mental Health on our social media pages, or also at Kenya and Gitonga across all social media platforms. And also suppose someone wants the copy of the books, they are available at Nuria and Savani stores.
Right. As well as Sophie, when you can actress. Asanteni sana. Asanteni sana also for calling in live. This conversation, Shambi, itaendelea tu pale online. Tukianza nilikuwa naangalia quote fulani that was asking them, to love someone who doesn't love you is like shaking a tree to make the dewdrops fall.
In summary, ni ngumu. That's very true, yeah.
It's an African proverb from Congo.
From Congo?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you make of it?
I think it is self-explanatory, you know, that you cannot, what are you doing, loving someone who does not love you? But it's interesting how they also say that for a woman, men are not looking for love, they're looking for respect. I've never really understood. Maybe Percy will come one day.
Respect and peace. Peace always must be there.
Respect and peace. But how am I supposed to be with someone who I don't love? I don't know.
They say you build the love.
Inakujanga.
Inakuja tu pole pole.
But in the same breath, again, it said that a man can live with you na hakupendi for years. You have that in you, eh? You have that. You miss the love of your life somewhere, and I'm within the house.
Oh yes, the hashtag Relationship Thursday. Unachukua pause up, but again it continues online. Right now, let's get into the county diary. Fred.
Thank you so much, Stanley Nyaringita and Gashambi Nderito, for conducting that very nice interview and that very nice discussion on whether or not you can actually get your mpwa from the digital space, dating in the digital space. And as I said, the conversation continues online. Over now to the county diary, and we kick off this segment in Laikipia County. Laban Muhinda is our man on the ground, and he'll be telling us more about a fight that happened at the Laikipia County Assembly. Very good morning to you, Laban. Bring us up to speed with the latest on that matter.
Naam, shukran sana mwenzangu kwenye studio kuu za Nairobi. Ninakupata kwa njia ya mbashara zaidi nikiwa hapa mjini Nyahururu, huku ni kaunti ya Laikipia. Na kufuatia mgogoro ulioshuhudiwa katika bunge la kaunti hii, ambapo baadhi ya wakilishi wadi wanamlaumu spika wa bunge hilo kwa kusema kuwa anaendesha shughuli za bunge bila kufuata sheria za bunge hiyo. Ningependa kupata maoni na hisia za baadhi ya wakazi kutoka maeneo haya haya waweze kutueleza wao kama wakazi wa kaunti hii ya Laikipia wanahisia zipi kufuatia shughuli zote za bunge hiyo kusitishwa. Karibu ndani ya TV47, kisha baadaye uanze kwa majina yako na utueleze wewe unahisi vipi kuhusiana na vita vinavyoshuhudiwa katika bunge la kaunti.
Mimi naitwa Charles Wahome na mimi ni mkazi wa Nyahururu, Laikipia County. Sasa hiyo mambo kulingana na vile niona kwenye news, hiyo ni mambo ya aibu na ni ya kurudisha Laikipia nyuma. Sasa ningewaomba speaker pamoja na ule minority leader waache ugomvi, juu hakuna mambo ambayo inaweza kuendelea mbele kwa sababu yeye mwenyewe ni speaker na huyu mwingine ni minority na hao ndio wanasimamia bunge. Na mambo ya Laikipia itaendelea nyuma kama wamefuga bunge, hakuna shughuli yoyote inaweza kuendelea katika Laikipia. Kwa hivyo ningeonelea waache ugomvi, kama ni ugomvi wako nyumbani, wapeleke nyumbani na wasuluhishe. Tunataka mambo ambayo italeta amani katika Laikipia, na sisi Laikipia unajua sisi tuko makabila mingi, tunataka amani. Kwa hivyo ningeomba wasuluhishe.
Naam, shukrani sana. Na wewe bwana, unayepi ya kusema kuhusiana na swala hili? Nitakushikia.
Mimi naitwa Peter Irungu Masharia. Pia hiyo mambo tumeona kwa TV ni aibu sana. Ningeomba tu speaker wa bunge ya Laikipia County akae chini, afikirie vile atasaidia watu yetu. Pia aheshimu MCAs kwa sababu MCA wameshaguliwa na watu, awasikize na watumie sheria kupeleka mambo yetu ya Laikipia mbele. Hatungetaka kuona vita, tungetaka kusikia wako na amani na tungetaka kukaa na amani. Na sasa ile bunge yetu haina amani, hata sisi wanaishi pia hatuna amani. Kwa hivyo tungeomba tu wakae chini, ile shida yuko wasuluhishe peke yao na wasigize mambo ya kibinafsi kwa mambo yetu ya maendeleo. Asante sana, tuko mmoja.
Na wewe bwana, tunaona kuwa kwa sasa wale wawakilishi wa wadi ambao wamewasilisha ile hoja ya kusema kuwa ni lazima speaker wa bunge hili aweze kubanduliwa. Je, kulingana na wewe unaona hilo litafaulu?
Mimi naitwa John Mudia, mkaaji wa Nyahururu, Laikipia County. Mambo ya hapa kwetu Laikipia, naona ya kwamba ni kama speaker anajipiga kifua, na akijipiga kifua kati ya MCAs, nafikiri MCAs hawatafurahia kwa sababu inaonekana kama kuna mambo anafanya ambaye kinyume ya sheria, kwa sababu hawa MCA ndio wanatengeneza, wanahifadhi sheria katika bunge zao, na kama wanapiga kelele lazima kuwe na jambo ambaye haiendi mzuri. Kwa hivyo ningeomba speaker aweze kushikana na MCA ili waweze kuongea kitu kimoja, kwa sababu hapa Laikipia hatutaki vita, sisi tunataka tufanyiwe kazi. Ningetaka kuwashukuru MCAs wote kwa maana kama vile niliona fujo vile ilikuwa, mimi kwa maoni yangu niliona kama speaker alikuwa na jambo ambaye haikuwa inaendelea vizuri, na ndio diposa MCA wakakasirika na wakaona si vyema waendeshwe hivyo, kwa sababu hawa ndio wenye sheria katika bunge zao. So ningeomba speaker cool down na aweze kuwa pamoja na MCA ndio aweze kuongea kitu kimoja.
Naam, shukrani sana. Na wewe bwana, kwa sekunde 30 tu ningependa utupe wewe kama mkazi, unaona kuwa baada ya shughuli katika kaunti hii kusimamishwa, katika bunge la kaunti kusimamishwa, itaathiri utendakazi wa serikali ya kaunti?
Itaathiri kwa hali ya juu sana. Kwa majina naitwa Jelo Wambogo. Laikipia ni jangwani. Hapa tunataka maji, hatutaki ukombi, na tunataka maendeleo. Kama hii hospitali yetu haina madawa, sasa wakianza kugombana, wananchi watapata madawa kivipi? Sasa tunahitaji wao washikane, watuhudumie. Tuliwachagua waende watuhudumie, si waanze kugombana ati wanataka mamlaka, speaker anataka kuwa governor. Hatuhitaji hiyo, agoje mpaka 2027. Simple. si mambo mengine.
Okay, naam, shukrani sana bwana. Na kama vile ambavyo umesikia, hayo ndiyo maoni ya baadhi ya wakazi kutoka kaunti ya Laikipia, wengi wakisema kuwa mabishano yanayoshuhudiwa katika bunge la kaunti huenda yakaathiri utendakazi wa bunge la kaunti. Vile vile huenda miswada katika kaunti hiyo ikicheleweshwa kupita, hivyo basi kuathiri pia maendeleo yatakayokuwa yakitarajiwa kufanywa na serikali ya kaunti. Kutoka kwangu mie Laban Muhinda nikiwa hapa mjini Nyahururu, nitazidi tu kufuatilia matukio yatakayokuwa yakijiri katika eneo hili ili niweze kuwajuza watazamaji wetu hususan kuhusiana na mvurugano unaoshuhudiwa katika bunge la kaunti hii. Kwako studio.
Thank you so much, Laban Muhinda, our man on the ground in Laikipia County, bringing us up to speed on what's happening, especially with the fight witnessed inside the County Assembly of Laikipia. From Laikipia, straight to Taita Taveta County, where we have Julius Mariki, and he'll be telling us more about the distribution of fertilizers by the government, an exercise which is currently ongoing. A very good morning to you, Julius. Bring us up to speed with what's happening on your end.
Well, thank you very much from studio. And today here in Taita Taveta County, the Department of Agriculture is expected to launch officially the distribution of fertilizer. And I'm joined by the CCO in Taita Taveta County, whereby the Chief Officer County Chief Officer on Agriculture, Mr. Stephen Mcharo, who will be telling us more about the event. Karibu mheshimiwa, na pengine utueleze ni nini tunatarajia leo hii hapa katika county.
Asante sana mwanahabari. Jina ni Mcharo Stephen Mwaluga na mimi ndio afisa mkuu katika idara ya kilimo, mifugo, unyunyizaji maji pamoja na uchumi samawati katika kaunti ya Taita Taveta chini ya mheshimiwa Wakuja, Mheshimiwa Mwadime, gavana wetu wa Taita Taveta jimbo hili.
Na asante, na pengine utueleze tunatarajia nini kutoka kwa wizara hasa leo hii katika mji huu wa Voi kwenye eneo hili?
Leo hii tuko na shughuli ya kuzindua mambo ya subsidy fertilizer, yani ile fertilizer ambayo imegharamiwa na serikali kuu pamoja na serikali ya kaunti, ambapo tunashirikiana katika kuhakikisha kwamba mbolea hii ya bei ya nafuu inafikia wananchi kwa njia ya nafuu. Tunakumbuka ule msimu mwingine wananchi walipata mbolea lakini kutoka serikali kuu ikishirikiana na serikali ya kaunti, lakini depot ilikuwa ni moja hapa Voi na nyingine Taveta, ikawa wale wakulima wa mbali kama Veruga, Nyache, Mgange walipata shida sana kuifikia mbolea hiyo. Na ndio maana mheshimiwa Mwadime akaongea na serikali kuu, tukakubaliana kwamba mbolea hii ipelekwe kwa msimu huu, ipelekwe karibu na wananchi, ambapo itapelekwa kwa sub counties ya Taita, itapelekwa Veruga, ya Mwatate itakuwa Mwatate, ya Voi itakuwa hapa Voi, na ya Taveta itakuwa pale mjini Taveta.
Pengine tutarajie ni nani ambaye tunatarajia mgeni wa heshima leo hii ambaye atakuja kuzindua shughuli hii?
Katika shughuli ya leo ya kuzindua mradi huu wa mbolea kwa msimu wa mvua hizi ndefu tunangojea, tunatarajia mkurugenzi mkuu katika idara ya Agriculture Information and Resource Center kule Nairobi, kutoka idara yetu ya serikali kuu ya kilimo kutoka kule Nairobi, ambaye ndiye atakuwa mgeni wa heshima. Pia tutakuwa na wenyeji, tutakuwa na DC wetu kutoka hapa County Commissioner Taita Taveta na wale ma SCC na DCCs ambao tutakuwa nao hapa katika shughuli hii hapa NCPB Voi.
Pengine kwa la mwisho ni kwamba wito wako ni upi kwa pengine wakulima kutokana na fertilizer hii wanapoipata?
Wito wangu ni kwamba wakulima tutayarishe mashamba mapema, tukipata fertilizer hii maana kuanzia wiki ijayo mtaanza kupata zile vouchers, na ukipata voucher nenda karibu pale ambapo hizo depots zitakuwa za sub counties, upate hiyo mbolea ili tuweze kuitumia kwa wakati ufao na tuongeze mazao yetu ili tuwe na chakula mezani na pesa mfukoni katika wananchi wetu wa Taita Taveta.
Baadhi ya wananchi ama wakulima huulizia kuhusu swala la mbegu, pengine serikali ina mpango wote?
Serikali iko na mpango wa kusambaza mbegu. Hata sasa hivi tunavyoongea tayari kuna mbegu ambayo tumeanza kupeana kuanzia wiki iliyopita. Sisi kuna mbegu ya kaunti, kuna mbegu ya washirika wetu ambao tunashirikiana nao, tukigawanya nusu kwa nusu, basi mbegu inazidi kuja ya aina tofauti tofauti. Kuna ya mahindi, kuna ya pojo, kuna ya maharagwe, na kuna pia hata ya sunflower, na kuna pia hata ya cotton. Mbegu ni nyingi ambazo zitakuja ndani ya wiki hii na ile wiki ambayo inakuja. Yes.
Asante sana. Well, as you have heard, is the chief, county chief of staff or county chief of SAR in agriculture in the Department of Agriculture in Taita Taveta County, just briefing us on what will be happening today. And we will be following up the event and we will update on our subsequent bulletin on what is going to transpire. Reporting from Taita Taveta County, I'm Julius Mariki. I take it back to you in studio.
Thank you so much, Julius Mariki, all the way into Taveta, updating us on the expected launch of that distribution of fertilizer program in that area. And this is where we dock for this Thursday. It's been a very busy one. And now do you have an answer on whether or not you